welcome to another episode of Wise in Zoom. And today we are with the presence of our Vice President for Internal Affairs. So here is Ate Chris. So introduce yourself. Ano yung ginagawa mo? And yeah, go. Take it away.
Hi, hi Arvin. Hi everyone. Whoever's watching this video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Chris Solatorio. So ano pang ginagawa ko? I'm currently working here at the Post-Harvest Horticulture Research Center as a project technical assistant 5. So yeah, basically what I do, it is a DOST funded project for 3 years. And then what we do is exploring the potential of our natural coatings, waxing and ganun. Ay, hindi ko na ako magdi-deal in with that kasi baka may masabi pa akong hindi karapat dapat sabihin. Naka-NDA. Anyway, so yeah, exploring
Yeah.
the nanotech, nano coating or something,
Yeah.
mga ganyan-ganyan. Basta I'm on the post-harvest side of
Post-harvest.
the agriculture sector.
Ano ba kapag sinabi natin post-harvest? Like,
Ano
baka
ba?
hindi,
Magle-lecture ba ako?
like, kasi baka hindi alam ng mga viewers
Well,
natin, di ba? So, ano ba
uh,
yung post-harvest?
post-harvest is things you do after harvest. From before reaching the consumers. Something ganon. Practices, activities, post-harvest chains from harvesting before reaching the consumers. Something ganon. I think yun na yung best ko.
Oh. Yeah. So, yung work mo is more on the fruits and vegetables or
Yes, correct.
ayun, ayun. So,
Yeah, I deal
uh,
with, we have coatings for fruits and then we do sanitizers and, well, on the current research, we do that.
yeah. So, actually, sa mga viewers, if hindi natin masyadong alam, ito actually, yung field ni Ate Chris, ito yung, yung one of the solutions dun sa, di ba recently, merong mga oversupply ng mga tomatoes, like, ang daming waste, mga food loss along the value chain. At feeling ko, and yung ano nila, yung field ng post-harvest, sila yung tumutulong to lessen yung mga food loss natin. Tama ba yon?
Yes, correct. I agree. Actually, there's a slight delineation between food science, and post-harvest kasi parang ganun yung nangyayari. Kasi na-mention mo na parang there's an oversupply and actually ang automatic na respond natin dun ay to process those
Mm.
things. What ang ginagawa po ng post-harvest researchers ay prolonging, extending shelf life or perhaps delaying the how do you call this? Uh, yung pag-decay or pagsenes ng ating mga fruits and vegetables. So yeah, yun.
Ayun. So,
And actually high, very high post-harvest losses ng Philippines. So you have to
totoo.
think about that. So,
Yeah. And ano rin
and
kasi, feeling ko, ito yung lagi ko sinasabi sa mga students ko, no? Kasi I taught for 2 years din sa University of the Philippines, Los Baños. And ang lagi ko sinasabi, napakahalaga ng post-harvest kasi directly linked siya sa kita ng mga tao along the
actually agree.
food chain,
Yes,
di ba?
yes.
So, meron din kayong like economic side, di ba gano'n siya? Like, it is an
Yes.
interlinked it is an interconnection of different fields. Ayun. So,
Yes. We have economists, we have statistics, engineering.
yeah,
Yeah.
and even business people, no?
Yes,
Yung
correct.
collaborations, yeah. Ayun. So, ayun, nakakatuwa to hear all of those technical sides ng mga ginagawa mo sa field and sa work mo as a project technical specialist, tama ba? Specialist nga ba yun, no?
Assistant. No,
Assistant.
assistant.
Project technical assistant. Ayan. So,
Yes.
um, ngayon naman, kwentuhan mo kami, paano ka napunta sa field na yan? Like, meron ba nag-inspire sa'yo na experience mo noong bata ka or anything na nag-inspire sa'yo to go into the agricultural field?
Uh, I think parang lahat naman ata ng mga tao or uh, well, most of siguro na mga nagtitake ng agriculture ay parang hindi talaga yun yung gusto nila. So, kasali ako doon. To begin with, like, gusto ko talaga, very gusto ko mag-doctor, yun yung mga ko, initially, yun yung gusto kong i-take. And then eventually, nung circumstances ay hindi nag-align doon, and then nag-enroll ako ng agriculture instead of pre-med na course like biology. That was what I'm planning to take when I was sure. Uy, nag-LMK na to cut the story short.
Hindi, go lang.
Parang parang tinake ko yung agriculture kasi yun yung feasible and practical for me sa university that time. Well, I was a graduate pala na Central Mindanao University at Mindanao Bukidnon. Hello. Anyway, so
Shout
yun,
out
ano
din.
ba? Nag-shut ano ba? And then, when I decided na mag-agriculture, yun yung ginawa ko. Parang it's a decision. Parang I don't have to, parang hindi na, ito na yung path na ititake ko. And ito yung reality ko sa buhay. And then, so when I planned for my master's degree and for soon for my PhD degree, so parang hindi na ako nag-deviate pa from agriculture kasi parang yun nga, hindi ko siya minahal sa una pero but
Pero
I
may
learned to
love
love
ka naman.
the
Yeah.
sector. Anyway, parang ganun.
Mm-mm. So, um, considering that, no, like, hindi siya yung talagang first plan mo. And I know, tama yung sinabi mo kanina na marami rin talagang mga nasa agriculture ngayon na hindi ito yung talagang planado nila. And
Oo.
I'm also hearing a lot of stories na parang, actually, one of my former professors, parang kinuwento niya sa akin na kaya siya nag-agriculture kasi parang ayun lang yung kaya ng family nila. Like, let's say, for example, in the Philippines kasi lalo na in our context, no, parang sobrang, hala, if you will dream, you need to dream big. And most of us, ang ating background ay kapag ganon, doktor, like engineer, alam mo yon yung kapag naka-white ka na na
Oo.
ano daw dito, blazer,
Oo.
ganyan, 'di ba? So parang
And
ganon yung
actually,
ano
the society
natin,
dictates na yun yung mga gagandang professions.
'di ba?
Walang
Ayun.
nagpo-promote ng agriculture. Actually,
Yeah.
yes.
Ayun. At saka ano rin kasi, parang ah karamihan sa atin, wala tayong masyadong alam kung ano yung meron sa agriculture. 'Di ba? Na parang, okay. And if you will look at your, ano ba, yung road papunta dun sa, let's say for example, medical school, magastos siya. And,
Actually, and in reality, hindi afford ng parents ko magpaaral sa akin.
yeah.
So, yun.
And, ayun nga, kaya rin nakakatuwa rin kasi 'di ba ano rin siya, like scholarships, uh, ang parang ano, lalo na sa atin na mga galing sa province, 'di ba ang
Yes.
from ano ka nga, from what province
Bukidnon.
ka nga? Ayan, Bukidnon, 'di ba? So para sa atin, like our first option talaga is go to state universities. Tas kung ano
Yes,
lang yung mga
exactly.
meron na courses doon,
Mm-mm.
like ayun na lang yung sige dito na lang ako papasok, ganyan kasi ito lang yung parang available, ganyan.
Oo. Kasi ang goal lang talaga ay makagraduate ng college.
Yeah, oo. And alam mo,
Well, yan naman talaga yung thinking ng majority. Kasi
yeah.
hindi naman lahat privileged to have a choice.
Yeah. And it's, ayun, actually, that is a really great, mamaya umiyak na tayo dito.
Sabi ko nga mag-LMK na ba tayo? Ay, Diyos
MMK na
ko.
to. It
Anyway,
is a very inspiring story, no? Na parang, okay, just because ito yung pinaka-accessible for you, doon ka napunta and now you are learning to love and to also, alam mo yun, be in that track na throughout the years, 'di ba? So ayun, wala ka
totoo.
na lang.
Alam mo,
Nakaka-proud.
na-realize ko lang, kasi parang I grew up, I was brought up in a family na parang farmers, a tenant, parang ganon. Sa side ng papa ko kasi, huy, nag-MMK na nga. Sa side ng
Go!
papa ko, more on livestock kami doon. Kasi part of
Mm-mm.
yung papa ko, cowboy ng university. And then, so parang livestock, dairy, cattle, mga ganon. So I'm more, growing up, yun yung may mga alaga din kaming mga kabing, kabayo, ganyan-ganyan. And sa side
Ooh.
naman ng sa side naman ng mother side ko naman, sila yung crops involved. And then engaged din ako. So madami akong experience growing up na parang I know how to harvest the
Pagkararo, ganun.
corn, mag-araro, mag
Wow.
Oo, mga ganyan, mag-harvest ng rice. Parang at young age, parang na-experience ko na siya. So to begin with, ayaw ko talaga ng agriculture because it's reality, it's hard labor.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Pero, isa din yan sa gusto kong gusto kong i-advocate na, lalo na, the reality sa ang dami kong reality na nasabi, excuse. O, ang reality sa Philippines, kaya nagle-lesson yung, di ba, na-mention mo sa isang presentation mo about the aging farmers. Kasi nga,
Yeah.
lahat ng anak ng mga magsasaka ay
Ayaw.
hindi na nila gustong mag-farm, mag-engage in farming kasi yun yung nakikita nila. It's hard
Mm.
labor, it's mainit, it's ganito, it's ganyan. But ang gusto kong i-ano nga ay nurturing kasi you're there, alam mo na yung background mo, ito yung
Yeah.
kinalakihan mo. So, all you have to do is to nurture the skills and to learn the basics and the science behind that. Kasi yun lang yung, yun yung wala doon sa previous generation nyo. Parang ganun yung gusto kong
Mm.
i-ano.
Feeling ko kasi, it your story itself, it is a good manifestation nun. Kasi, di ba nagkaroon ka ng background on agriculture and you were able to
Yes,
discover na hindi lang about that yung agriculture. Alam mo yon na
exactly.
meron ding scientific side na nasa laboratory ka. It's not always on the
Mm-mm.
field. There are a lot of fields to explore. Can you please enlighten us doon sa aspeto na yon? Like, ano yung mga naging eye-opener mo noong na involve ka na sa mga projects na nasa laboratory na hala, meron palang ganitong side, meron palang chemistry ang
Oo, amazing.
agriculture. Yung mga ganyan.
Hindi,
Can you
actually,
please
parang
enlighten us?
when I was deciding my major na ititok sa master's degree ko, sabi ko, kasi I was a graduate na crop science na program or course under ng BS Agriculture. Tapos sabi ko, ano bang madami kasing field, di ba nga, sa crop science, we have physiology, mga ganyan, production, and all. Sabi ko, parang iniisip ko, parang hindi lang naman kasi production ang kailangan para ma-reach natin yung security sa food system natin or zero hunger if you have to go with the SDGs. Pero sabi ko, hindi lang naman kasi we have enough, we have technologies na for that, we have breeding for that. And then sabi ko, ang biggest, one of the key critical points naman ay ang sa post-harvest side kasi doon yung mga losses, doon yung quality loss, doon din yung um, money loss. Mga ganun. Sabi ko, ayaw ko ng production kasi madami na doon. Madami na sila. Gusto ko ng less taken na road. Yung mga, and reality naman din siya. Very few lang talaga yung may expertise or yun nga, expert sa post-harvest side of the crop science or agriculture sector. So yun. Well, in Bukidnon, we have that. I think na-flash din yan sa news.
Ah, 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 ah.
Yung mga overproduction, oversupply, you mentioned niya a while back na about the tomato supply. Sabi ko, okay. Tapos, kasi overproduction, kasi mahirap din naman kasi parang may isang meeting ako na-join na sabi nila dapat daw i-program ang planting ganyan-ganyan. Ang hirap pala mahirap siya with in terms of planting. So, you have to really address those things dun sa perhaps hindi sabay-sabay na pagbenta. You have to put it in a cold storage perhaps or
Mm.
utilize mo yung mga na-develop na post-harvest technologies para
Yeah.
hindi magbulto doon, mag-bulk like oversupply. Yun, isa yun sa
Mm.
mga eye-opener ko kasi it's a waste. It's a loss.
Kaya nga kaya nun ding ano ba, noong nakasama ko kayo wow, sa 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 post-harvest, ang dami ko ring na-realize sa mga things na ganito. And as someone then who taught these different things about the losses, etc., ayun yung nagiging eye-opener din to some of my students. And actually, in my last semester of teaching dyan sa UPLB, parang ayun yung isa sa mga final exam nila. It's to analyze a case and um propose a solution based on their knowledge dun sa mga yon. And marami ako mga students kasi na agribusiness management and entrepreneurship, tapos economics, tas ayan yung mga nagiging eye-opener nila to the point na may mga students sa akin na lumalapit na parang ayun daw yung parang gusto na nilang tahakin na road on how to help on doing that. Ayun. So, kwentuhan mo naman kami, ano ba yung mga ginagawa on your specific field? Let's say, for example, as a project technical assistant?
Aside from, well, nag-field kami kasi we have to deal with fresh commodities, yung freshly harvested, kasi we have to study kung gaano katagal sila magla-last in a certain duration, mga ganun. Nabanggit ko nga kanina na nagde-develop kami ng coating or waxing and even tips and sanitizers alternative for those chemicals na ginagamit natin currently sa market. Well, we explore with cold rooms, yung using low temperature to extend the storage life for certain commodities. Kasi parang agriculture is applied science and post-harvest is parang ganun din. And ang background talaga namin ay um,
Mm.
biochemistry and
Biochem, food
physiology. And
tech.
if you have to understand those things, parang doon mo malalaman na, doon mo may explain na, kaya pala ganito. Kaya ganito lang siya nag-last kasi nag-decrease na yung ganito niya,
Mm-mm.
na, naubos niya na yung food reserves niya. And then, yun, yung mga ganon na mga bagay. So, more on, more on, yung mga experiments namin ngayon, ayun nga.
More on physiology, ganyan talaga.
Yes. Oo.
Oo. Yeah. So, ayun, parang it's also one way na mai-present yung agriculture on another sense. Kasi 'di ba, ayun nga
Oo,
kanina.
actually, yun nga, nabanggit mo kanina na hindi lang talaga siya sa field kasi mayroon
Oo.
nga ding laboratories and in lab,
Yeah.
sa post-harvest na studies, we do that in lab.
Yeah. And I hear na ang dami niyo ring travel. I mean, pupunta kayo sa different areas sa Philippines, 'di ba?
Yes, ginagawa din kasi hindi naman lahat ng mga commodities ay present here in Laguna
Laguna.
alone. And
Yeah.
and actually one of the post-harvest horticulture research center here in UPLB ay nag-iisa
Mm.
post-harvest lab here in the Philippines. Well, due to pinopropose na din, like mayroon na ibang SUCs like somewhere in Mindanao, may isa na
Mm.
sila, kaka-open lang nila, kaka-launch lang ng post-harvest lab nila. And then may isa ding working na post-harvest lab sa UP Mindanao with Dr.
Oh.
Emma Bayucat. So yeah, pero
Mm.
technically, ito lang talaga yung center ng
Yung
post-harvest
talagang
research natin.
established na.
Yes.
Ayun.
May ibang
So,
mga universities nga na wala pa talagang post-harvest lab. And yun nga, one of the problem na nakita ko ay hindi nila masyadong natuturo yung post-harvest side kasi nga hindi sila expert doon kasi iilan lang talaga yung kumukuha ng
mm.
post-harvest physiology or post-harvest science na course kasi nga very chemistry siya.
Yeah, oo rin. Very biochem, ganyan.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so ayun nakakatuwa naman to see and also hear. Actually ngayon ko lang nalaman na ano no. Actually, alam ko ba na kayo lang yung post-harvest and now
Oh,
it is expanding no like meron na sa Mindanao and hopefully
yes.
magkaroon in more state universities. So, before we end, wow, this this ano ba tawag dito? This episode. Ayan. So, what are your hopes for Philippine agriculture like in your own perspective sa post-harvest na side, ganyan?
Oh, what are my hopes? Malaki. Well, we can't
Go!
change the past, but we can plan for our future.
Oh.
And my hopes for the younger generation of farmers, traders, and supply chain players is actually to practice the post-harvest handling proper. Kasi nga, when we have this field trip, nagpunta kami sa sa mga big markets like in Balintawak, in Divisoria, like so sad kasi parang in post-harvest research you do like ano ba yung you explore or you study those things, mga practices and handling na para ma-lessen yung losses. And pag makapunta ka doon, like reality, yung mga patatas, well, that's mga sayote, carrots, like, or cabbage, petchay, and all, na parang in bulk. And then, pag ihaw mo na siya from the, ano ba yun, track, parang ano lang,
Apon na
parang
lang, hagis-hagis, ganon.
itatapon, ihagis-hagis, ganyan. Tapos sabi ko, di lost na yun. Magka-crack,
Mm-mm.
magkakaroon ng sugat, magbo-bruise. So that's loss. So parang, So, yun yung hopes ko na kasi parang kahit naman kahit gaano pa kadami yung research na ginagawa mo identifying saan ba ang pwedeng mag-intervene, gumawa ng
Mm.
and then hindi talaga very receptive ang ating mga farmers, traders, and supply chain players to accommodate those results na nagpapakita naman ng like good output na ito pag ito ang ginawa natin, ito ang mangyayari, tataas yung kita natin, may minimize yung loss. Pero yun, hindi yun ang ginagawa, hindi nagagawa, hindi yun. And sad yan. So that's my hope for future generation na let's be more open-minded and be open for the technologies and innovations na ginagawa kasi based on research yun and may mga actual results. So yun.
Yeah. Yeah. So, feeling ko it all
Nasasad. Nakakasad. Anyway.
nasad na ako. Eme, feeling ko kasi it all boils down then to awareness talaga. So, ang sayo mo nga kanina, parang there are a lot of people na nandoon. And I feel like most of them, they are not like really aware of those things na, meron pa sigurong bibili niyan. Yung mga ganun, di ba? At saka,
Exactly. May mga ganun.
oo, at feeling ko rin, doon siya napupunta sa parang, okay, yung burden ay napupunta doon sa mga nagbebenta mismo na, sige na, benta ko na lang to na mas mura. Something like that.
Oo.
Ayun. So, ayun. Kaya dapat guys, kapag kumakain kayo, dito mo rin ma-appreciate eh. Feeling ko one of the major lessons that I've learned din sa agriculture is that dyan mo ma-appreciate yung food na nasa plate mo. You know, hala, ang layo pa ng ano nito, ng parang binyahe ng mga to. Kasi most of
Oo.
the commodities na meron tayo galing yan sa mga farms like for example, Benguet o kaya sa mga
Inget.
other farms sa ibang lupalop ng Philippines, 'di ba? So, yeah.
Correct.
Ayun. So, ayun. To end this episode, do you have a personal mantra or saying that keeps you motivated to move forward? Ayan. So in your journey as an agriculturist, so what is that one thing
Mm.
that keeps you moving forward?
You're the product of your yesterday's decision. Kasi every decision you make today ay magre-reflect siya or magre-result siya sa kung sino ka tomorrow. So
Yeah.
parang if you decided to to do this choice now, so yun, may impact siya sa bukas mo. So
Yeah.
do it now. Make
Totoo,
a good
actually.
decision today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And siguro that is a good thing to encapsulate this episode, no? Kasi kanina kinuwento mo na hindi talaga agriculture yung gusto mo pero diyan ka napunta. And now you
Yes.
are thriving in an industry na wala masyadong kumukuha, and then possibly, and I also hope na someday you will be a really big expert in the post-harvest industry. Perhaps
I
the
hope
director
so.
of
Hoy!
yeah, 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 yeah.
Anyway, so isa sa mga ganun, make that
Uh,
decision now and commit to that one.
Yeah, that's a good takeaway, and that's a great way to end this episode. So, if you have any questions about this or ano ba, thoughts about this episode with Ate Chris, you can just comment them below. And again, thank you very much for being with us in this episode,
Ah,
Ate Chris, and I hope that this
thank
video
you.
will also inspire more people to study post-harvest and also involved in the agriculture industry.
Yes, 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 yes. I hope so. Yeah, thank you for having me for the second episode of Wise in Zoom.
Yeah, and we have a lot of things in store for you guys. This will be a whole series throughout the
True, true.
years. Yeah, na ang goal talaga ng UWise in Zoom is to highlight different professionals and players na nasa agriculture na. And ayan, thank you very much sa
Yay!
pag-share ng knowledge mo and ng experience mo for today's episode. So I think that's it. Thank you for listening and watching sa video na to. And see you
Yay!
in the
Thank
next episode.
you.
Bye!
Ingat. God bless.